So I want to be upfront. For the last couple weeks, I've been hiding something from you guys. Been hiding this Flash Forge Adventure 5 Pro out of frame and completely off the radar. I truly wasn't sure if I was even gonna make this video and do this comparison, but after testing this printer out, I felt like I had to. So in this video, I'm gonna put the Adventure 5M Pro from Flash Forge against the Bambu Lab P1S, something that I never thought I was going to be doing, but let's talk about the results and how I was even surprised myself. So let's get into today's video. But in this video, what we're about to do is compare two 3D printers where you're obviously gonna have to buy a bunch of 3D printers, especially if you're looking at a print farm, that can get pretty expensive. So with that, I wanna talk about today's video sponsor. This video is brought to you by Teleport. Teleport is a 3D print on-demand platform that makes it easy to sell 3D printed products without having to buy more printers or pack more boxes. So whether you're just starting out or you're already running a successful 3D printing business, Teleport lets you scale without having the hassle of maintenance, failed prints, or shipping logistics. Teleport makes selling 3D printed products as easy as selling t-shirts with a traditional print on demand. All you have to do is connect your store and upload your 3D printed models. Then, when a customer places an order, Teleport will print and ship it directly to them. There's no upfront cost, no inventory, just a fully automated way to turn your designs into products. That makes it so you can focus on designing more products and focus on growing your 3D printing business. Let Teleport handle all the dirty work on the back end. So if you're ready to take your 3D printing business to the next level, go ahead and click the link down in my description and start selling with Teleport today. Once again, thank you to Teleport for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our video. So let's talk about the Flash Forge Adventure 5M Pro. So I actually bought this model on Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago with a bunch of rolls of filament that are actually still up there. And I did some testing. Pretty excited to say that it held its own, especially against the P1S. So first I want to talk about pricing. So a few weeks ago, I actually bought this Adventure 5M Pro off of Facebook Marketplace for a pretty good deal. It was like 200 bucks. It came with a printer and it came with a bunch of filament as well, some TPU, a bunch of different stuff. So that is sitting up there, a lot of the filament, and obviously this is the printer here. So I also bought this Bambu Lab P1S back in November, and this was, I'm pretty sure this is the second printer of the bunch that I bought. I think that's why I have a 2 on there, but it's also gonna be the first one. I think this was the first one actually. So I bought this back in November. And I'm gonna be honest, like I said, the results are very, very close and actually surprised me. So let's get into comparing these two printers, starting with price. All right, so let's start with the Bambu P1S. So right now this is on sale for $629 without the AMS unit. We're gonna get into the AMS unit a little bit later, but I'm just going to talk about the printer itself because the Flash Forge does not have multi-printer, which is already going to be a plus for the P1S. But if you want to go ahead and add the P1S AMS system when you purchase everything, that's going to run you an additional $200, making this total unit in this setup right here $829. Now that is on sale. I believe the retail for this is $949. I have never paid $949 for this unit, and during Black Friday and some other specials, you can even pick it up for even cheaper than that. So that's the P1S, going to have a base unit of $629. If you add the AMS, looking at $829. Let's talk about the Adventure 5M Pro. All right, so right now the Adventure 5M Pro is going to run you $469. Now that's just for the base unit. Again, it doesn't come with a multicolor system. And again, the base unit over here for the P1S is going to be $629. So you're saving a significant amount already. However, this is where it gets really lopsided for the Flash Forge. So if you are looking to start a print farm, which I know a lot of my audience is, when you come to the Flash Forge and talk about the bulk pricing, that's where this one is blowing everything out of the water. So right now I'm pulling up the Flash Forge website. So if you wanted to buy just one of these to start out, you're already going to save some money. However, if you want to get into bulk pricing, so let's say you're like, hey, looked at the reviews, I've been doing my own research and I figured out I want to go with the Flash Flash Forge for my print farm, taking a look at the Adventure 5M Pro when it comes to farm savings. So right here, you guys can see if you buy 5 units, the original value, if you buy it separately, it's gonna be $2,345. Now, the package pricing is gonna drop that down to just $1,995. So saving you about $350, so 15% off if you buy in bulk. Now, if you do the math on the P1Ss, so if you do 5 times $629, putting the math right here for you because I'm not doing that math. So that's gonna be that, and you can see the difference in savings if you're buying 5 units. Now, if you buy more, because a lot of people when they actually look at a print farm have 10, 20, 30 printers. So let's take a look at just the 30 printers. So if you buy 30 units, it's gonna cost you $14,000 if you weren't to use the bulk pricing feature. But if you do the package pricing, it's gonna save you $3,300, making the cost for each one of these units it's going to be $10,770 for 30 of these, which is going to be the math right here, breaking down of how much each one of those costs. It's going to be right here, but also saving you 23% on buying each one of these units as well. So if you're looking at starting a print farm, the cost is definitely going to go to the Flash Forge Adventure 5M Pro. Not even close. All right, so for me, and for everybody, it's just numbers. When it comes to price, gotta give it to Flash Forge and the Adventure 5M Pro. Overall, if you're looking to start a print farm, go with this, especially for the pricing. So print farm, pricing in general, you're just gonna go Flash Forge. That's gonna be a win for the Flash Forge. Let's get into the next section. So at this point, you're probably like, yeah, Corey, this one's cheaper, but it probably does less, doesn't it? Let's talk about the specs. So starting with the P1S, the build volume, so what the actual build plate that you can print on is gonna be a 256 by 256 by 256. Now, when we're talking about how hot the build plate can get, that's gonna be able to go up to 100 degrees Celsius, and the maximum temp for the nozzle is 300 degrees Celsius. And the max speed that this printer can move is going to be 500 millimeters per second. So absolutely no slouch. But let's talk about the Flash Forge and the specs over here. Now this is going to be a little bit of a smaller printer. So this is going to be a 220 by 220 by 220. So a little bit smaller than the Bambu Lab P1S, but it keeps up in every other category. The bed plate is going to be the same at 100 degrees Celsius. The nozzle can only go up to 280, which is a little bit of a difference between the two, but the max speed of this is going to be 600 millimeters per second versus the 500 millimeters per second. So when it comes to the specs, that all sounds nice, but the biggest question is going to be what kind of filament can you print with these? Because obviously all of those specs sound cool, but if I can't print with what I want to print with, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put a list up on this right here of all the types of filament that you can print. So we're gonna put the list right here. Essentially, they can print pretty much the exact same thing. So specs wise, you have to give it to the P1S. So overall, it's a little bit of a bigger printer. This Flash Forge is gonna be a little bit faster, but a lot of the other things make it negligible. So for now, we're gonna give the specs to the P1S. All right, and at this point, the last thing I want to talk about before we keep interrupting this video is going to actually be the winner. From 2 videos ago, I gave away 2 rolls of Sunlu filament. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the winner of those Sunlu filaments to make sure that we give those people who won their filament. So let's go ahead and do the winners of those giveaways.
All right, guys, gonna go ahead and pick the, one winner for the 2 rolls of Sunlu filament, and then I'm gonna pick the next one. This website, for some reason, doesn't allow me to filter out, so I am going to do a little verification and then edit back in to make sure, because the contest did end on the 9th, and we're a little later than the 9th. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the first winner. All right, so Boomer James, you got the first roll. The only thing I need to do is confirm that this was put in before the 9th, but if you're seeing this, then you are good. Let me grab the next winner and verify. All right, so congratulations to Fritz Sells Prints. What I need to do is just verify and make sure that this was actually submitted before. Let's take a look. And 13 days ago. So congratulations. Those are our 2 winners. Again, make sure you comment, you reach back out to me via email. So those are going to be our 2 winners. You have Rich Sells Prince and Boomer James. Thanks you guys for commenting, and we do have some more giveaways coming up on the channel, so make sure you are staying tuned.
All right, so congratulations to the winners. Please make sure you email me. You can find my email. I'm not going to tell everybody where to find it, but you guys know where to find my email. Go ahead and make sure you email me to make sure that I can send you out that filament. And last thing I want to talk about, I know I said last thing last time, but we are starting a Discord. So many people have been asking about a Discord. Now, there is going to be a link down below to the new Discord. And to get more people in that Discord, I just want to make sure that we have a space for our community where we can talk with each other, bounce questions off of each other, whether it's about 3D printing issues, whether it's about business, whether it's about how to get prints to come out better, or just overall general questions. I want to make sure we're building a community where everyone feels welcome. And from the guy who's been printing from 16 years to, you know, the guy who's just started out and maybe doesn't even have a printer. I want everyone to feel comfortable in this space. So link down below. There is going to be a big giveaway as well. Going to be giving away a couple rolls of filament. So the only way to win that is to become a member in the Discord. So again, make sure you click the link down below, get entered into that giveaway for the Discord. And I'm really excited about this, guys. I've been working on this in the background for a couple of weeks now, and I don't think it's perfect because nothing's perfect yet, but it's pretty darn close to being perfect. So if you want to join the Discord community, it is free to join. There's going to be a link down below, but let's get back into the comparison video. All right, so I do want to talk about the features of each one of these. So when it comes to the touchscreen on the P1S, it doesn't have a touchscreen. So it actually only has like this very 80s or 90s car radio look, no touchscreen, just a couple of buttons to click there. Now, the Flash Forge does have a very nice sized touchscreen. It's not the biggest touchscreen in the world, but from my experience, it does what it needs to do. I'm able to, it's pretty responsive, not the most responsive thing out there, pretty responsive, easy to work with. So I definitely like the Flash Forge for the touchscreen interface. A lot of the things that I would say is also overblown though, is having a touchscreen. Truthfully, I very rarely interact with either one of these screens unless it's just to restart a printer. When I do, I enjoy this more than the P1S, but a lot of times I'm using my cell phone or I'm using my computer to interact with these printers. So not a big deal for me, and also not a big deal if you're setting these up in print farms, but just wanted to talk about those two things. And speaking of cell phones, they both do have cell phone apps. Bambu Lab has its Handy app, which is an awesome app. I've never had any issues with it. I can go on there and change the filament. I can actually start a print from here and say, hey, this is the integrated Maker World into the app as well. So overall, the app for Bambu Lab, the Handy app, is an awesome thing because I can click right on my app and not have anything loaded up and actually have a print ready to go in literally seconds. So that is pretty sweet from Bambu Lab. Now, Flash Forge is no slouch. It doesn't integrate with Maker World or its own version of Maker World. So you can't go on there, from my understanding, and pick out a model and actually send it to the printer like you can with the Bambu Lab. But you are able to monitor the camera, which the camera on here is definitely better than the P1S. You can monitor your printer camera on here, your print. It will send you notifications just like the Bambu Lab app does, and you can add multiple printers and check the status of everything on the app as well. So for the app, gotta give it to the Bambu Lab as well. And continue with features, I gotta give the features over to the Bambu Lab because of the AMS. If you are looking for multicolored printing, whether it's just to have multiple rolls of black or white in here, or if it's to actually do multicolored prints, obviously, you are able to do that with the AMS system, and the Flash Forge only has a single roll of filament that's fed into the back. So obviously you got to give it to the AMS system over here. However, from my understanding, Flash Forge is coming out with their own multicolor system, which seems to completely destroy having a second system. It's actually built into the side. So if that's as good as what it says, we might have to revisit this whole thing for the multicolor system printers. Not necessarily sure how that's gonna work out, and hopefully Flash Forge one day sends me one of those printers, but I'm excited to say that Flash Forge might have something to compete with Bambu Lab when it comes to multicolor printer. But for now, gotta give the AMS the leg up on this side too. All right, so we've talked about the printer's physical capabilities for a while, but let's actually talk about the prints and what I found. This is where a lot of my preconceived notions about the Flash Forge completely went out the window. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I bought this, I put it down there, and I was like, yeah, I'll put a print on here. And it was actually with these Moab heads here. The very first time I printed something, I was literally blown away. I decided a while ago that I was just going to print 2 of these just to print them. And I wanted to print one on the Flash Forge to see how it worked. And I wanted to print one on the Bambu Lab P1S. So I'm gonna bring you in close, and I want you guys to tell me which one you think was printed with which printer. And do not, whether it's good or bad, don't think where I put these is which printer it came off of, but it also might be, or it might not be, you decide. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring these closer to the camera, and you tell me which one in the comment section below you think was printed with the Flash Forge or with the Bambu Lab P1S. So you guys tell me in the comments which one of these items you think was printed with which, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is the first one. And the second one, kind of hard to tell detail with the white, but we'll do our best. All right, so go ahead and put your comments down below. Let me know which one you think was which, and I'm gonna go ahead and reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This was the Flash Forge, and this was the P1S. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not even close in my opinion. This looks better than this one. There's a couple of layer shifts that happen on this. Under the chin looks pretty rough. Under the nose looks pretty rough. And under the eyes looks pretty rough. Here, the chin just looks like layer lines. Under the nose looks really good. And this, overall, it came out better. I'm gonna put some more B-roll of this so you guys can see, but in my opinion, oh, and then the big piece for me was actually the top of the heads here. You can see this is really rough. And don't get me wrong, the P1S puts out great prints. Just in this specific case scenario, it got blown out of the water by the Flash Forge, which is what we're all here for, the print quality. So let's move on to the next thing. These 2 flowers here. So again, don't let where I put them fool you. I kind of rearranged a lot of different things, but these 2 flowers here, I'm gonna bring it up close again. All right, so you got one here. These are gonna kind of be hard to tell. I'm gonna probably put some more B-roll up of these a little closer, but there's the first one. There is the second one. All right, go ahead again in the comments down below, put which printer you think printed what, and I'm gonna reveal it in 3, 2, 1. This was printed by the Flash Forge. That was printed by the Bambu Lab P1S. Again, there was some rough spots here on some of these leaves. On the bottom side, the bottom just looks horrible. I keep saying horrible. I don't want to say that. The bottom doesn't look as good as the Flash Forge. There's definitely some, I don't want to even say defects, but where the supports were, you could still see that there's some markings from the support. With the rows that the Flash Forge put out, again, it just looks cleaner. Neither of them are perfect, but I believe that this one, because of some of the details on the pads, you got to give it to the Flash Forge again. So right now, Bambu Lab is down 2-0. Goku used to be one of my favorite characters, so I printed 2 Goku busts. This one wasn't even close. I'm not gonna even bring this to the camera. This was printed out in the Flash Forge, and this was printed out in the Bambu Lab. There was so many issues with this. The supports fell off of the head. You can see here his shoulder didn't even fully print out. I don't know why, like the supports just broke off, where on the Flash Forge it didn't do that. I used the exact same printer profiles. I used the exact same temperatures, all that stuff to print both of these out. They're both silks as well. And this, again, just absolutely got dog walked by the Flash Forge P1S. All right, and lastly, you guys are probably gonna already be able to guess Flash Forge and Bambu Lab. And here is where the even though I believe the mask looks better for the Flash Forge, I kind of ran into one issue with the Flash Forge when it comes to the prints. So this mask here, I was able to print it at full size. I had to actually scale the Flash Forge down just a tiny bit to fit on the build plate. So these are the exact same models, but this one you can tell is a little smaller. And the reason why is this only goes to 220 millimeters tall, where this one goes to 256 meters tall. So this, even though, but again, when we talk about print quality, let's actually talk about how I believe, again, the Bambu Lab printer got pretty walked on hard when it comes to this. The ringing up at the top for the Flash Forge looks so much better than the ringing up at the top when it comes to the P1S. The section out here that you guys can see, I don't know what happened here. You can see the layer lines, I think, a lot better, which could also just be the filament that I used. But you can also see, hey, here where the tree supports fell off under the eyes, it looks better on the Flash Forge than it does under the P1S. So again, gotta give the winner to the print quality. From my experience, I want to put that out there. From my experience, the Flash Forge gave me better quality prints that I could see. And even the last one being the Benchy that I printed for both of these. The Benchy right here was printed from Bambu Lab. Nothing too crazy. It's a solid print. And this one here, printed by the Flash Forge. So at best, if we want to say that the Bambu Lab is a little bit older, which it is, I bought this back in November, bought this on Facebook Marketplace, but it was used as well. It had like 200 hours on it, so not brand new by any means. Even if we want to say, hey, it's a push, let's just pretend it's a push. The Flash Forge still is $160 cheaper. I just did math when I said I wasn't going to do math. I think it's $160 cheaper, whatever it is. It's still significantly cheaper than the P1S. I want to put this out here because I think a lot of people have been maybe hearing me wrong when I talk about the Bambu Lab printers. And maybe I'll take this moment right now to actually address it. So Bambu Lab, I used to be, I don't even want to say fanboy, because I started out in 3D printing back in November. I bought a anchor make and said, hey, I didn't love the quality of it. I didn't love the size of it. So I went to the P1S, and ever since then, I have bought nothing but Bambu Lab printers. So I have 3 P1Ss and an A1. Recently, with all of the controversy and all the things going on with Bambu Lab, I decided that I wanted to start reaching out to other manufacturers. And I do want to dive into why that is. On its face, what Bambu Lab was doing, I understand. When it comes to, hey, the majority of the people we are trying to reach are not the tinkerers, and really isn't even the 3D printing community. They wanted to be more secure with their printers. I get it. I truly do. I don't even necessarily disagree with it. I disagree with the way they went about it. And what I mean is, I didn't actually really have a horse in this race other than having some Bambu Lab printers, but then I watched 2 videos. Both of them are going to be linked down below. One was by Uncle Jesse, which, shout out to Uncle Jesse. He's been commenting on some of my videos. I appreciate you, Uncle Jesse. But this is when I started to really look at this situation a little bit different. So he gave his 2 cents kind of on the industry and some of the history with printer manufacturers, because he's been doing this a lot longer than I have. And he brought up this one company. I don't remember the name of it. Like I said, I am going to leave that video linked down below. But he talked about how there was another company that was very similar to the Bambu Lab printers, that they kind of changed. They came in, changed the way everyone was looking at 3D printers, and then slowly started adding things. And now that company is no longer around. And a lot of it was subscription based and things along those lines. And it kind of became a slippery slope in his mind. He didn't say he was swearing off Bambu Lab printers or anything like that, to my recognition, or to my recollection. That was a while ago that I watched that video. But he talked about just other company that had a very similar start to Bambu Lab that slowly started adding some things that people didn't like, and now that company was out of business. So I say all that to say this: Bambu Lab didn't handle the situation correctly. And I don't appreciate being gaslit into believing something. And this, where I bring that up is the second video. I don't honestly remember the name of the channel, but he's a pretty big YouTuber. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that one down below. But what he talked about there was he did a whole video on the fact that Bambu Lab put out one article, then took that article down and put out another article and then made comments on people commenting on that article, pretending like it never happened. So they 100%, and I hate using this word, but gaslit their people into believing one thing when they meant something else. So truly, it is not that Bambu Lab is doing anything wrong when it comes to wanting to make their printers more secure. I just personally believe, one, it's a slippery slope, because if you start adding in features and you got to put this behind a paywall or anything like that, I kind of think it's like a car manufacturer selling you a car and then telling you where you can get your oil changed, telling you you only can go to a Dodge dealer to get your car worked on, and telling you you can only put parts in your Dodge Ram that come from Dodge. I just don't believe that that's the way the company should be doing something. If I buy something, I don't really care about the back end support until I need it. But when you start putting handcuffs on me and telling me I have to do this, I have to do that, that's where I really have a problem. I believe it's a slippery slope as well. A lot of people talk about the, moving into subscriptions. It could happen. It really can happen. It's a slippery slope. But overall, I just want to give my 2 cents on the Bambu Lab situation one last time, or for the first time, and to kind of address it. So here's where I am with Bambu Lab. I'm not getting rid of my Bambu Lab P1Ss or my A1. I am also not buying any more right now because I want to vote with my dollars. And I have the ability to buy more printers if I want to. I'm going to hold off until one, Bambu Lab puts everything behind them and says, hey, we're going to be changing the direction of what we've been talking about. Or two, they come out with this new printer that they've been talking about in the first quarter, and it's just something that I absolutely need. That's the next time that I'll buy a Bambu Lab printer. So for now, I want to wrap up with all of that by saying, if you are looking to buy a printer for a print farm, go with the Flash Forge. If you're looking to buy a printer to have one printer and you just want to print for fun, go with the Bambu Lab P1S with the combo. If you're not going with the combo, either wait and see what Flash Forge is coming out with when it comes to multicolor, or just go with the Adventure 5M Pro. I believe it's a better value printer than the P1S. And when I say value, I think people always get that misconstrued with cheap. It's obviously still kind of expensive at $429 or $469, whatever it is. It's not a cheap printer by any means, but it's cheaper than the Bambu Lab printer, and they can do relatively the same. And from my experience, you're gonna get better print quality out of the Flash Forge. So if you're looking to start a print farm, go with the Flash Forge. You're looking to start the hobby of 3D printing, I would go with Bambu Lab for now. So at this point, that's pretty much my opinion. I love both of the printers. Love is a strong word. I love the Bambu Lab P1S, never done anything wrong to me. And I like the Flash Forge printer, because I can't say love because I've only had it for a few weeks. I will say though, I actually did get another one as well. So now I have 2 Flash Forge printers that I really believe is gonna be something that I look at a little heavier, and especially I'm super excited about the new printer that they have coming out in a couple of weeks. So for now, I am going to be putting my money into Flash Forge like I did with these 2 printers. And yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit on the Bambu Lab. But again, I still recommend them if you guys are looking to have fun. Nothing wrong with them. Just be wary. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that no one quite knows what's gonna happen with yet. But for my 2 cents, print farm right here, just maybe doing a hobby right here, but still couldn't go wrong with this one. So other than that, guys, make sure you hit the link down below to join the Discord. And I appreciate all the love and support. We still got the basement build going on right now as well. So if you didn't check that video out, that's gonna be right here. Thanks again to Teleport for sponsoring this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.